Night time sharpens, heightens each sensation. Darkness stirs and wakes imagination. Why is this froze up again? Hey, XD, Neck Puck, Haku's here, Jonathan's in, Steven Slater, Shane's back, Michael's in again, Void, Mr. Zedekai's back, Cesaro's here, Haroon, Sonic Joe, Colton, Dark Slifer, Zank, Jacob, Trengsgrid, Evil Knight Wilson, Jonathan, Curiosity L, Alpha Fatty, hey Doctor Who, good to see you again, my friend, Albert Studios, Vinny McChuggins, Member Berries, I remember. Chimarayuri, I'm never going to remember this. I'm never going to be able to say that for you on the first try. I always have to run it through at least twice. Evil Nightwolf, Stefan, Yusef, Wallace, Zarek, OG Enemy, Heatron, Void, Gigamac, Alex. Yeah, we got actually some. It seems again today. Now maybe not as many as yesterday, but it seems some. Fat Boo indeed. The notifications went out. Hold on a second, guys. I just got to refresh my page because it only took this long for YouTube to screw that up and crash my feed, so I can't see exactly what's going on here. All right, let's see. Put it back to live chat, and all right, I should be. There, should be caught up. How's your trip? Was really good. Thanks, Doctor Who. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a real good time. We're not gonna get short. No, we shouldn't. The wife's at work today, so we shouldn't get cut short because of that. Around my house, you can never tell what else might cut you short. Like I told you guys yesterday, there was I'm actually one of the Gusha 100 videos. I'm in the middle of it because I was recording it. Got cut short because I had to go take care of some things for my mom, and that was 2 days ago, and I haven't gotten a chance to go back to it yet. So that was good. Fortunately, it's a conversational vid. It's not something with a plot, so it's easy to jump back in halfway through. Send some news. I don't think even the internet is quite ready for that. Excuse me. I titled this just because today I just got done watching for the Goose one of the a One Piece episode, and it's where and just so you guys know for no spoilers, it ended right where the giants from oh god, what's the name of the island? Little Garden. Right as the giants took out the huge goldfish there that was otherwise going to swallow up the Straw Hats. And I just like those giant characters right from when we first saw them, and just thought it was cool because it's another case of what I'm assuming are much more minor characters. I don't know if we'll see them again. I can't imagine that we would. Of much more minor characters being really cool. We talked about that before, and I just really like that when you get stuff like that. Hold on a second, guys. I gotta get this set. Okay. Member Barry says, we're talking about a guy named Curtis in one of my math problems. Apparently you deliver food and charge 30 cents a mile. Yeah, that sounds like me. I'm a cheap whore. 30 cents a mile is really low rate, and I like I say, I'm whorish. No, actually, Big Green, I didn't give the update on the copyright. It's not a major update. I'm glad you're here. I was going to ask you when I talk about it, if you wouldn't mind. I know you always do this for me. Just timestamping it in the comments for people that want to hear. Well, as a matter of fact, I'll go over it right now. The update on the copyright strike. Now, I usually get my responses from YouTube overnight, my time. So last night I had responded to their response from my initial correspondence, and their initial one is always just a form letter. It finds certain keywords within your email and sends you a form letter about copyright. So in other words, uselessness. The one I got last night was more of a form letter type scale, but I'll read to you some of what it said. Now, mind you, when I'm dealing with the reps from YouTube, I always try and keep it polite, professional, and everything, because I don't say what I'd really like to say about YouTube, because it's not their fault that YouTube has these policies. I mean, they're just employees that are doing their job. They don't make policy. They just have to. They just are the middlemen who have to explain the ridiculous policies to us. So this Ryan, who I'm talking to here, seems like a good enough dude, but At one point in their response, it says, let me see. You won't be able to submit another counter notification for this material through your YouTube account, meaning, the counterclaim I filed. If you are confident that you have the necessary rights and or permissions to upload all the content contained in your video and are willing to possibly defend your claim in court, please let us know and clearly explain your reasoning. Of course I'm willing to possibly defend it in court. Every time you file a counterclaim, you have to be ready to defend it in court. Everybody knows that, because when I file a counterclaim, even if YouTube accepts it, they send it along to whoever filed the claim, and you have to be prepared. It's almost insulting, the things they send you. It's like they assume the worst of everybody. They assume everyone is just slapping up other people's content, and as soon as you talk about courts, they'll back down. I wouldn't be posting this if I didn't think it was within fair use. So basically, I sent them a really, really long email explaining every detail of how, and quoting fair use doctrine, and explaining how my video and my prior videos fit well within that. I even cited the specific court cases that have set precedent and everything. So I don't know what more they want than that. So that's where we stand right now. I probably won't get an answer again until tonight, but this one should be interesting. I mean, I can even, hold on, did I close that tab? No, I didn't. I can even tell you, basically, I won't go through the whole thing for you, but basically, like I wrote to them, from the fair use doctrine describing factors for determining fair use. This is a quote: the effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. In litigation, this has proven to be the major factor. It is also one that I can most easily prove that I've taken into consideration. The material that was the source of my review reaction can be found in its entirety for free on the internet. During my review, large portions of the original material are cut out, and I am speaking over further large portions of what is left. There is no way a viewer could get the full effect of the reviewed material. With the entirety of the episodes available for free, simple logic dictates that a viewer would not be watching my video in place of the original episode when they could simply click elsewhere on the internet and watch the entire thing unencumbered. I also have tens of thousands of comments on my videos, many of which were on the video that has now been removed by YouTube, where viewers clearly express that they've already seen the original content and are watching strictly for my commentary. And then I go on talking about the amount of original material used and the precedence that's been set for that, and explaining about monetary, not inhibiting the potential monetary gain for the complainant, which is another big issue. So it'll be interesting to see how they turn this one around and still deny me. It's going to be real interesting. But every day in these live streams, I'll keep you guys posted. Let's see. Why I not review Endgame? Because I'm not a review channel. Spaz Kid is right now next door working on his room. I had mentioned to you guys yesterday that we are redoing his room. Our house is old. It's an old farmhouse from 1860. And so his room hadn't been done in quite some time. So he's just going through and repainting everything and tidying things up and everything. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Thanks, Haku. It'll be interesting to see what they come back with now. But I mean, that's the part, I guess, that really irritates me, is they treat everybody the same because they send you form letters, but they treat everybody like they treat me like I haven't taken the time to learn. I've got the fair use doctrine freaking memorized, and you know how difficult it is for me to memorize anything. I read it over and over and over and apply it to what I do. And then whenever there's an issue like this, YouTube says, well, have you ever heard of this thing called copyright? It's like, fuck you. I know more about copyright than you do. Sleep deprivation fixed naps are great. Well, thanks, Christina. That's nice of you to say. Would I fight Tsunade or Midnight? I'm going to get my ass kicked either way, Sonic Joe. But when there's titties like that involved, who cares? I'd fight Midnight just because I find her hotter. The fight's going to end up the same way regardless. I'm going to get the shit kicked out of me. So why not? Why not fight the one whose boobies are most impressive to you? Spaz Kid is now 19 years of age. Gigamac, how's your mom doing, Curtis? Is she enjoying her time at your place? Well, she's physically she's doing fine, but the memory thing is just that's why I end up with issues where I have to walk away from what I'm doing. It is just gone. I it's a difficult determination to come to, but I mean there is going to be a time coming up fairly soon where we're going to have to place her in senior assisted living because even with me being, retired from my day job, so I'm here all day, I'm upstairs right now, and this is where I do everything. I mean, not just live streams, I'll do all the recording, editing, everything. And just by having her downstairs, that's getting to be a little bit risky now because she just can't remember anything at all from moment to moment. So, I mean, she's enjoying herself, but she doesn't remember from moment to moment that she's enjoying herself. But physically, she's doing okay. Physically, she's doing fine. It's just the whole memory thing. What would be the funniest video game I've ever played? Oh, geez, I don't know. I go back in video gaming to the start of home video gaming. I don't know what I'd be forgetting something for certain if I just came up with one. I'd have to really think it over and think of all the different games I've played. Yeah, I don't even know. Let's see. Recently did a working on the job thing at an old folks home, Maz says, with mostly people with massive memory problems. That's where my wife works too, Maz. People not being able to speak because they can't remember simple words kind of shit. Yeah, my wife sees it every day because she, as a matter of fact, if we do have to place my mom, my sisters live in North Carolina, so I'm going to talk to them if they want it when it comes that time. If they want her placed here, then it'll probably be right where my wife works. If they want her down there, that's fine with us too, but when the time comes, she may be going to my wife's work. Stuart says, I'm not sure if you remember that Mr. Zero is a warlord of the sea, same level as Mihawk. Do you think Luffy and the gang can beat someone at that level yet? Well, I think we're going to find out shortly, Stuart, because I just got through where, Sanji was masquerading as Mr. 3 and took the call from Mr. Zero, Crocodile. So it sounds like we're going to be finding out pretty soon. I don't put anything past the Straw Hats as a group. I mean, even as badass as Mihawk was, and there was no doubt that Mihawk, at this point anyway, Mihawk versus Zoro was a no contest. I mean, Mihawk's just playing the game at a whole different level. But Luffy never really got involved. I mean, he came flying at Mihawk the one time, missed, slammed his head through the side of the ship there. But then Mihawk just said to him, "Hey, dude, I didn't kill him. I'm not gonna kill him." And Luffy was just like, "Huh?" So he didn't even really get to see how the whole gang would stack up against Mihawk. I don't think it would be easy, Mr. Zero, and being one of the 7. But I can't say they couldn't stand up against them, not as a group, as long as they're all together anyway. I don't think any one of them could stand up to them. Steven, Curse, I'll be right back. I need to punch a monkey in the face. That's still one of my all-time favorite videos. I don't know why. To this day, I don't know what even inspired that. Other than that, I saw my bag with my boxing gloves in it and the stuffed monkey was there. It's like, hey, why not punch him in the face? Because, I got issues and shit. Gimster. Mr. Goddammit Curtis doesn't want to be another old cunt whining to the middleman over something out of their control. Audible gasp. Yeah, Gimster, I don't always proclaim to be the most upright person in the world, but that's something that I always try and be conscious of is who you're either speaking to or who you're writing to. This, like I say, this guy Ryan for YouTube, it's not his fault that YouTube has the policies they do. There's no sense in going off on him and telling him what a stupid decision this is and why this is wrong and that's wrong, because he's probably aware of it. He's just trying to do his job. And anybody that's out there working, I have mad respect for. So I'm not going to make somebody's job more difficult unless I could actually get to Susan. If I could get to the policymaker, then I would say everything that I want to say. But I'm not going to make Ryan's job any more difficult than it has to be. I try and keep that in mind anyway. And he seems like a good enough dude. He's just doing what he's instructed to do. He's instructed to take that initial email, find those keywords, and send me back the form letter. That's what he did. I took it further. He sent me back another semi-form letter. There's some parts of it that, have to be composed differently, but it's mostly a form letter. Now this third one is where I've taken it to the level and saying, yeah, I'm fine with defending it in court. Now, ball's in your court. We'll see what happens. Ma says, funniest part had to be this one ancient chick thinking I was her son 1 second, then wanting me to screw her brains out the next. Yeah, my wife tells me stories similar to that all the time. It's kind of good with, my mom being here and my wife having so much experience with dealing with this stuff, because it's exactly where my mom's going. She's just, right now, she hasn't gotten to this point. She hasn't gotten any of the batshit crazy stuff. She just can't remember. But unfortunately, just like what you're outlining, a lot of times following the inability to remember anything comes the real craziness. So far, not so bad. Curiosity says, just watch your Llamas with Hats video. Is that still your favorite series, or did DBZA pass it? That's a tough one to say, Curiosity, because they're so different. I mean, yeah, I don't even know how I'd compare those two, because they're so. Llamas with Hats is still one of my all-time favorite random humor type of things, whereas DBZA obviously is more tightly constructed because it's following an actual series and an established storyline. But the randomness of Llamas with Hats, and believe it or not, as silly and ridiculous as that whole thing was, when he dies at the end, Carl, when he dies at the end, it still makes me sad. I go back and watch that every so often. Fortunately, they have, well, you guys know, they have that, they have the video out where all 12 episodes run together, and every once in a while, if I have time, I just sit and watch it again because I loved it so much. Stuart says, Karoo would solo Mr. Zero and Mihawk. # change my mind. Karoo's a bad. You know what? And we may still. I sometimes I hesitate to say this. I don't want to encourage people to give spoilers, but it was 2 episodes ago, and the last thing we see of the little, I thought it was cookies, but actually it's some sort of rice cake or rice patty or something. That little cookie chomper there, who's with Mr. 3. The last thing we see of her is Karoo about to run over, but we don't actually see what happened. I'm curious exactly how she met her demise, or if she did meet her demise, or what happened there. Doctor Who, only 60 people. Yeah, we never know exactly what went out for notifications, though, Doctor Who. A lot of times, I'm sure you guys see, too, I'll post, one of the live streams goes live to the channel, and then it's really infuriating because you'll have so many posts of people coming in hours later saying, yeah, I just got my notification for this now. That will always puzzle me. There's a lot of you guys are way, way, way more well-versed in coding and things in that nature than am I, but I don't understand why that's so difficult to accomplish. Why is it so hard to just send out notifications? I don't understand why that's hard. And Dr. Who says, surprisingly, I got a notification. That's what I mean. It's just so hit and miss. It's so hit and miss. The mods tell me that all the time. That, now, of all people, the mods are always in here when they can be. You guys see that. So, all people, you think they'd get notified, because YouTube says they track, which channels you follow and stuff. Now, you got Big Green, and Lude, and Chrome, and everybody, all our mods, and Wolverine, they're here every live stream. Why would they not be notifying them every time? Because YouTube's giving us a line of bullshit. They don't take that into account. It's just random and broken. Stuart says, spoilers, Karoo versus Shaggy is the finale of One Piece. I still like Karoo over Ultra Instinct Shaggy. Karoo is a badass. That's what I'm saying, Big Green. I didn't think it should be difficult. And again, I don't have a lot of knowledge about those things, but that seems something pretty simple to code. Yeah, now see, Lude didn't get a notification. Now, Lude is here every stream. I couldn't even tell you the last time we had a stream that I didn't see Lude in here. So, if what YouTube says is true, why would he not get a notification? It's not true. They just make shit up. That's a great screen name. Hello, Willem Dafoe's Fruitcake. That's so random. Good old Willem Dafoe. Haven't heard of him in ages. Um, Gimster says, completely random humor mixed with the storyline comedy equals I'm at the soup store. Yeah, 100%, Gimster, 100%. That's one of the reasons I love that. So, well, you guys know how much I love random humor. Nichijou that we do over at the Goosh. Frog has been sponsoring Nichijou for, gosh, almost a year now. And same thing there. I laugh so hard at those because they're so random, especially the goddamn segues in that show. They're so randomly dumb that it's awesome. Especially the two. I haven't seen them in recent episodes, but the two eggs with the jump rope. Oh my god, those are funny. YouTube is shooting the places they can't reach. Yeah, 100% Doctor Who. That's been their problem since they bought YouTube. You can tell where Google's ambition with it was to create a new television channel. They wanted to be a TV network, is basically what it amounts to, and it's not going to work. They've tried a bunch of different things. It's all failed because people, they're bound and determined, Google, that they're going to tell us as YouTube. I mean, I'm not just a YouTuber, right? I'm a YouTube aficionado. I like YouTube videos, always have. And they're trying to tell us as fans how we will go, what we will like, and how we will go about liking it. So they've basically been saying, they're trying to tell us that we want slick Hollywood production stuff on YouTube, and we don't. The reason YouTube became big is because it is the people next door. I always use RDC World 1. To me, is just such a perfect indication of the best of YouTube to me, in the respect that it's just a bunch of guys who have some funny ideas and a video camera, and that's what I like about YouTube. That's mostly what I watch on YouTube. I don't really watch an awful lot of like the late night shows and their clips and stuff like that. I like, and Brandon Rogers and again RDC World 1 and Dashy, people like that. That's what the majority of us seem to like, and YouTube doesn't like that. Yeah. Commenter says YouTube is taking away the YouTube of it. Yeah, 100%. I don't understand. Well, because Google's arrogant. So I was going to say I don't understand why they would buy a platform like YouTube when it's clear that their indication was to try and entirely change what made it successful. Right, Big Green makes a good point. I mean, they even removed their slogan, broadcast yourself, from the site. Right, exactly. It became clear a couple years in that that's exactly what they planned. They wanted to take this, and I'm assuming their logic was, okay, here's this platform with these tens, at the time they bought it, at least tens of millions of viewers, and they'll just be redirected wherever we tell them to go. And that's not how shit works, unfortunately for Google. We as viewers have preferences, and the reason we like YouTube is not so you can create some more Hollywood productions that are run of the mill and we can watch anywhere. Madman Mario versus Racist Mario. Alex says, which one would be the funniest in your opinion that you watched? I like them both, but Racist Mario was hysterical. Racist Mario is one of my all-time favorites. Chrome says Google wants control no matter what. Yes. Remember Google Plus? That exactly, Chrome. That's exactly one of the things I was alluding to. YouTube TV. They can't bring me a notification. Though they can't bring me a notification, it's tiring. Chrome makes the point again. Now again, here's one of our mods. Chrome is here in every stream, just like Ood and Big Green. I don't remember the last time that these guys weren't in a stream that we've run. So why would they not be getting notifications? There is no logic whatsoever. And the thing that bothers me is, why lie to us? If there is some sort of issue with getting notifications out, say so. What the hell? I'd rather have that than you lying and telling us that, oh no, there's no issues with it. And even when I would email them, I've long since given up on that, and complain to them and just say, listen, why is there an issue with notifications? I had X amount of people come in and say they didn't get notified of this live stream. Oh no, that didn't happen. We checked our logs and everything went out fine. So again, like I've always said, they're like a 5-year-old who got caught stealing a cookie. It's just deny, deny, deny. Who do I think would win in a 3-way fight? Tsunade, Hinata, or Hinata or Catwoman? Well, Catwoman's hard to say because, with all the superheroes, it all depends on what level of powers are going to get them. I think Tsunade could take Hinata, though. Absolutely. Like Big Green says, the notification should be at least consistent enough to give the mods one, because having mods on the stream is important. Completely agree. And YouTube promotes that, because it's just like now you guys have seen, well, it's not new anymore, but have seen that now on Super Chats, certain vulgarities get censored. Well, that was supposedly because, I guess, people were using Super Chats to be mean to YouTubers, which, again, I'll never understand. If somebody wants to pay me to say something pithy, go right the fuck ahead. Who cares? I have plenty of people say pithy things to me for free. But, so YouTube always was a big sponsor of, have moderators on there who can help handle that stuff for you. We've got a great crew of moderators, and YouTube doesn't bother to notify them that we're streaming half the time. So it makes you crazy. And again, more than that is the fact that they're not upfront with us. Just tell us the truth about what's going on, but we can't get truth. Yeah, I heard about that, Stuart. He says, Hentai Haven is back. The universe is balanced again. Yes, I found out about it because somebody memed something about Hentai Haven being back. It's about goddamn time. That's true, and I just heard that the other day. As bad as my memory is, that's typically something I would remember, and I haven't remembered to go give it another visit. I was wanting to suggest you watch If Goku and Vegeta Were Black series. I think we saw. Yes, we saw Curiosity. We saw at least some of that back when we could do the reaction video streams. You guys remember that? I don't remember who. That was much longer. I don't remember who it was that recommended it, but we did watch at least one, and maybe more of those in those streams. I do remember that. A point says, I am sure that a lot of coding geniuses work on the YouTube algorithm. It might not seem like it to outsiders, but I'm sure that's a complicated problem. It could be. It doesn't seem like it would be to me, a point, but again, I'm the first to admit that I don't have a depth of knowledge on this subject, but it just seems like coding something to say, okay, when this YouTuber clicks go live, send notifications out to these people, doesn't seem like it would be complicated, but maybe it is. Mr. Zadakai says, haha, Curtis, you're fat. Now take my money. And he makes a good point there, because that's another thing I never got to. How is it an insult if it's true? Now, most people would consider that an insult, but I am fat. So how is calling me, if you're calling me something that I am not, or I could make a counterclaim against being, I could say, well, that's an insult, but calling me fat would be like calling me bald or old. How's that fucking insulting if you are? That's part of one of the reasons our society is so fucking uptight and sensitive. It's like, hey, you're fat. It's like, oh yeah, I am. Cesaro says, you aren't fat, you're thick as fuck. Gimster says, basically stating YouTube's house could be burning down behind them, and you pointed out they would say that nothing's happening. Right. Exactly, Gimster. And that, in all honesty, when it comes to things like the notifications, that bothers me more than anything. I understand there could be issues with doing it. Why come back to me when I wrote those emails and say, no, that didn't happen? Now, 25 people independent of one another came to me, regulars here at the channel, and said, hey, I didn't get a notification for this one. Would have liked to have been there. Why would 25 people independently lie? I'm way, way more likely to believe that one very large entity, YouTube, is lying. That's a pretty good one, Maz. I never heard that one before. Your face is so uggo, your portraits hang themselves. That's pretty good. I never heard that one before. That's true, too. And yes, couldn't send that till... There you go. Maz couldn't send that in a super chat until he changed ugly to uggo. That's how hypersensitive... Well, we all know that we all know that Google and by extension YouTube are very hypersensitive social justice warriors, and I just, to me, that makes zero sense. I don't like. I always turn off any, where I have the option. I turn off any type of censorship on any of these sites. But if you had to censor them, wouldn't you censor the main chat more so than the super chats? I mean, okay, so people were using super chats to say mean things, but again, that's, to me, that's the ultimate win for the YouTuber. It's like, you think you hurt my feelings by saying something mean and paying a couple bucks to have to do it? I can still ban you. Or no, we can't ban anymore. What is it? Oh, I forgot. What's our politically correct terminology here, you guys? Because we can't ban, because that's mean sounding. No, mute. No, it's not mute. I forgot what it is now. You guys will tell me. But in other words, you can take their money and still get rid of them. To be honest, that doesn't make sense, Lute says. If somebody insults you for something, that's not an insult, that's them being stupid. An insult is taking something about a person saying in a negative manner. I guess you can make that case. Well, it's not necessarily, you say it's not an insult, that's them being stupid. Those two things aren't mutually exclusive. You can still be stupid and be insulting. But to me, I would think it's more insulting to say against something untrue and state it as fact than it is to say, hey, you're fat. I guess somebody could call that an insult. For me, it doesn't come off as insulting. It might be rude, but there's a difference between being rude and insulting. I think to point out somebody's physical characteristics that are undesirable is probably very rude, but insulting? I mean, I don't get insulted by facts. Let's see. What was it? What was it? Hide. Yes, Big Green and Lou said it. Yes, you hide people. No, the official terminology now, Stuart, is we hide them. They changed that from, we used to be ban, right? Yeah, here we could do a ban, and now it's hide. That's how overly sensitive Google/YouTube is. I insult you so very badly, sir. Now take my money. Yes. There you go, Michael. And as I said, I just never understood that. Now you guys we can't have a normal adult conversation in the super chats because somebody got their feelings hurt about something that was said. I mean, it just strikes me as so, I don't know, so ridiculous to be censoring people's comments. It's unbelievable. Oh, wait, yeah, you can ban them. It's hide. Mix that up. I honestly don't see the point, Chrome says. YouTube's not going to change unless people start moving platform. One incentive to have change. You're right, Chrome. And the thing is, it's so difficult for anybody. YouTube is so ingrained into our consciousness, it's going to be really difficult for them to be supplanted. That's what needs to happen, you're right. But it's going to be really, really difficult. I mean, that's the one smart thing Google did. By the time they bought YouTube, it already had a really strong foothold in the consciousness of the world, of the internet world. You know, people went to YouTube to see videos. So they had that going for them. And that kept snowballing because even while YouTube was coming up with their plans to try and turn it into a TV network, there's still thousands and thousands of YouTubers who are uploading that content that we all like to see here. So it just kept snowballing as it went. Let's see. He's only reading mod and paid today. Okay. Somebody always thinks that I'm ignoring them. Steven, you're in streams all the time. You see how fast these things go. I pick out what I see in front of me, but somebody always feels like they're being shunned. Gimster says something was said to someone some time ago. Everyone must pay. Let's see. Malcolm Dean says, hi there. Not sure if you can do anything about this, but I joined Patreon a few months back, but for some reason, only for you, my card keeps not working. Oh, I wish I could help you, pal. Patreon will admit themselves that it's gotten way better over the last few months, but Patreon's payment processing has had a lot of issues, put it that way. Particularly, I don't know if you are, but particularly if you're outside of the U.S., they've had a lot of issues. The one thing I can say, let's see. But the thing is, I have 5 other patrons. See, that's what I don't get. That I'm signed up for with the same card, never have any issue. I try reaching out to Oh. Oh, now that surprises me. Usually, because the advice I was going to give you was to reach out to Patreon. Because typically, the one thing I've always been impressed with is Patreon has excellent customer service. I'm really surprised they didn't get back to you. They're typically, just from what everybody tells me, and from my own experiences, even if they can't fix your problem, in the past, they've always gotten back to people and said, we're sorry, we're having this problem, we're having that problem. The only other thing I can imagine is there different with the other Patreons that you Patreon sites that you support. Is there a difference in nations? Just because I know what Patreon said before. So in other words, I'm in America. Is there any chance that maybe the others are in Europe, someplace else? I'm just grasping at straws. I wish I could do something for you. I really do. As far as the workings of all that, us as creators have no control whatsoever. The only thing I can advise, Malcolm, is contact Patreon again. I know that seems like banging your head against the wall, but unlike YouTube, Patreon is generally really, really good with support. I'm shocked that they didn't get back to you, even if it was to tell you that there's an issue and they can't hook you up with our Patreon for whatever reason. Just try getting a hold of them again and let me know how you make out. I'm sorry to hear that. I wish I could do more for you. I've asked in the past. I've had people that had problems with getting their credit card through, and so I was going to take and just give somebody give them a month for free because they had so much problem with it. I just assumed that was something we could do, and I went through Patreon everywhere, and I can't even do that. I can't even just sign somebody up, which I thought was kind of greedy on Patreon's part, that everybody had, that they don't even allow the creator to say, hey, here, and I wouldn't even mind it if it was okay, listen, let this person in at the $5 level, and I'll pay Patreon your cut of what that would have been. But there's not even a process for doing that. So I wish I could give you better help, but I would contact them again just because that part is unusual. Usually they're really good about getting back to you. But it's the payment processing, that's their number one bugaboo. For the most part, I've enjoyed my experiences with Patreon, but, and again, to their credit, they're willing to admit it themselves, the payment processing has been the one bugaboo. Curtis Candy is 18 years old, Wolverine says. That's pretty good. At work, can't stay Hail Hydra, Big Daddy. Okay, Wolverine. That's pretty good. I like that one. You're going to get... I hope that's not the one you get stuck on this time. For those who don't know, Wolverine was playing around for a while, and he just kept changing his screen name. It was making us all laugh. It was all witty stuff. And then it got stuck on... I can't remember the exact quote. But using the genjutsu on Itachi, that line. It got stuck there for months. Bunders Blunder says, thanks for your reaction. Always bring a smile on my face. Support from the UK. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. What do I think about Mob Psycho 100? Spooter's fantastic. Better than I started out good. I initially liked about it. I just like Mob's look, just because he's not what you'd expect in a protagonist at all. That awesome haircut and little kid and so reserved and everything. And I've got to record another episode of Mob Psycho 100 for the Goosh. I'm going to try. It might not be till Sunday, but I'm going to try and get it in as soon as I can because I just want to see more of it. Where we are now with the brothers being kind of pitted against each other, that really amped it up. And then this creepy bastard who's gotten involved in the confrontation between the two, and it's really good because typically, I'm not a believer in psychic abilities, not that you have to be to enjoy a series. But that I thought would make it harder to get into it, but it hasn't at all. It's really, really good. I'm enjoying it a lot. Kurt and I tried to use genjutsu on Itachi. Yes, thank you, Michael. That's what he's saying, is that's what Wolverine's screen name got stuck on for a while. Yeah, Milog had it too. He got it stuck there for months. Milag says, my girlfriend always messed with me by saying my penis is small and telling everyone, but she changed her tune when she needed to scratch her inner ear and didn't have any buds, and it was useful. That's good. I like that one, Igor. When people used to call me fat, I always replied with, this ain't fat. It's simply excessive sexiness. Always shut them up. That's pretty good. The copyright strike update, Luke, wasn't a huge update. Just that I've responded back. I got another semi-form letter from them. And they said basically, well, to take this to the next level, you'd have to be willing to go to court and blah, blah, blah. And so I wrote back saying I'm more than willing to go to court. I don't file a counterclaim without knowing that going to court about it could be an eventuality. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But as I had said earlier, what it comes down to is YouTube treats all these things as if you're just somebody who's just plastering other people's properties up on their website, with nothing added to it. And that's unfortunate that they do that, because they just take it for, they seem to think that no one actually does things within fair use or takes the time to learn fair use law, copyright law. And you guys know I'm like anal about it. That's what I read it over and over and over, and I try and apply it every way possible. So I broke that all down for them in the letter I wrote back and said, yes, I'm willing to go to court and explain why. I probably won't hear back from them until overnight tonight, but as soon as I do, I'll let you guys know in the next stream. Chrome. Curtis, what are your thoughts on possibly having to watch a 4Kids One Piece episode for a Goosher 100? It's both interesting and terrifying, Chrome. Because on one hand, it's terrifying because it's 4Kids, and the things they've done to some great anime over the years are criminal. I mean, they should serve time for it. But on the other side of the coin, some of it is so beyond the pale ridiculous that, as aggravating as it is, you still have to kind of laugh. Like the electric hammer and stuff. It just, some of it, you can't not laugh at it, no matter how sad and pathetic it is. Chimarayuri said, read Usagi Drop manga if you're ever suffering. It's basically euthanasia. What we decided on that, because you guys know I loved Usagi Drop. So the gentleman who supported that series, who sponsored that series over at the Goose, I left it up to him whether or not we should go into what happens, because I know there's something obviously diabolical that happens in the manga. I left it up to him if we should see what happens in the manga or not, and he said, nah, let's not do it. So so we ended up not doing it. I was just looking something up here. Okay. But so I'm perfectly happy with the way it ended. But Enzonator did say, he said, let's just drop it. Let's leave it at that, because I did enjoy it. It's among my favorite animes I've seen. I really, really enjoyed that series, every episode of it, just because they did the whole parent-child thing so well. Speaking of 4Kids, they skipped the Two Giants arc? Did they? I didn't know that, Stuart. I like those Two Giants. Man, I'd have been pissed if I'd have missed that. If I was forced to watch the 4Kids portion and then you don't even see that. I really like those Giants. Gimster says, the old man clearly stated that he is anal. Goosh, goosh, goosh. Yep. Listen, that can't come as a surprise to anybody that's seen the openings to the Goosh videos. So, and why I find that it's funny how, because for those of you who don't know, the Goosh Man, you guys have told me so many times what anime that comes from, and I always forget it. But anyway, the Goosh Man, how that came to be a thing was one day we were doing a reaction video stream, and some of the gang said, oh, you got to see this will gross you out. And they showed me the Goosh clip, and it was immediately one of the funniest things I ever saw. I know the regulars here knew that I was going to find something like that hysterical. The people who weren't regulars, who had just happened by type, thought for sure that I was going to react in the negative and be like appalled and grossed out, and it's like, this is one of the greatest things I ever saw. And from that moment on, the legend of the Goosh here began. Tokyo Tribe 2, thank you guys. Thanks, Big Green. Yes, You guys have told me that a million times, and I can never remember that name. Goofy in U.S. version, Roofy. Goosh, 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 penny. Yeah, Stefano says, if you ever want to watch a dark and gritty anime, watch Elven Lied. It's so good, but it's not for the faint-hearted. That's what I've heard. We've talked about that one on a number of occasions. It'll be interesting to see at the Goosh. I don't know if that one will get voted in, but once we catch up at the $1 level videos that we're doing, once we catch up with the series we have scheduled there, I told the gang what I'll do is I'm going to take some of these series that a lot of people seem to like at the Goosh, but are never quite popular enough, to win a poll and be one of the mainline series, and I'm just going to plug them in there. So that might be a place for it or something at some point, because when we're doing Yu Yu Hakusho right now. When we finish that, we're going to Cowboy Bebop, and then Hellsing Ultimate, and then Death Note. All of those are relatively speaking short. So, and Yu Yu I think we're over halfway done with Yu Yu. So once we get through all them, I'll be plugging in series like that, because Elven Lied's another one. It's a lot of people have said they like it, but I don't think it would get enough support to win one of the polls. So I'm going to put in series like that at the $1 level. 4Kids Sanji voice. I don't think I have, Gigamac. I've only seen 4Kids clips. I don't think I've heard Sanji's voice. Oh, I can't even imagine. Oh, jeez. BTG says, Red, I just got here. Time to end the stream. That happened a couple times, BTG. Trust me, it was purely by accident. It was not met. And for those who don't know, again, this happens a lot. We have such a regular core group here that a lot of times I refer to people by names that make no sense. Clear Sky Guardian is BTG because his original name here was Black Temple Guardian, and shortened that, that became BTG. So I just mention that every so often because I know it confuses a lot of people. We've got a bunch of people, because everybody likes to change their screen name here or there, but I just get hung up on an original name. Dasbro says, would you beat the man with the dove voice of Kabuto if he did talk to you in a smarmy way? It would be very difficult not to, Dasbro. You are correct. You would really want to punch it. That is such a smarmy, smug voice. Wow. Jesus. Now my guy, Cesaro says, now my guy watched 7 Deadly Sins. I binge watched it in 3 days, and I was surprised by how awesome it is. That's a borderline one, I think, Cesaro. That one might, and not that I wouldn't put it in at that level, but I'm just saying that one might get voted in. 7 Deadly Sins gets a lot of support around the Goosh. That one could get voted in. And I know Brax binged that one not too long ago, and he keeps talking about how great it was. And I watched the abridged, and I thought it was really good. Oh, excuse me. Milok says, a few years ago I heard about something called over-the-counter Viagra. Now I don't really need it, but I'm on the small side, and the over-the-counter part sounds powerful, so I think I may try it. Berserk 97 gets mentioned. Is it 96, 97? 97, I think. Joel, that gets mentioned quite a bit, too. That's one that's got pretty much every poll we've had that's gotten mentioned. Lude, yeah, I really hope 7 Deadly Sins comes up soon. I love that show. Season 4 starts this fall, too. Yeah, that one, there are some I can tell just from the way the voting goes and the nominations go, that while people like them, they just don't have enough push to get over the top. But 7 Deadly Sins, I'm not so sure about. That one might make it. Excuse me. Big Green says, oh, so Sanji has a Boston accent in the 4Kids stuff? For really? I could never place it aside from it sounding awful. Yeah, that sounds awful. It just blasphemy that Ideal have not been voted in. Stefano says, ever heard of the man who died of a Viagra overdose? They couldn't close his casket. At least not without a modification in it. Igor says, 4Kids stupidity is so great, they once censored a rice ball into a sandwich in an episode of Pokemon. I think somebody mentioned that to me before, Igor. That sounds familiar. I don't know if I ever saw it, but I know that's been discussed. That's great. Because I'm trying to remember what I saw. Wasn't the rice ball, didn't they say that was racist or something? Wasn't it something along those lines? I'm trying to remember, but that sounds familiar. Somebody had mentioned that to me before. Let's see. Chimarayuri says, hopefully Gooshers will vote in Inuyashiki. It's only 12 episodes, but I can guarantee you as a family man you would cry. Also, Donald Trump makes a cameo. See, that one I think Chimarayuri. Inuyashiki has been talked about before, but since it is only 12 episodes, and it's never gotten the huge push, that would be a good one for filling in at the $1 level. Because that's what I try and do is, again, put in ones that don't have quite enough push to get over the top in a poll, and also try and keep it to shorter ones, too. That way we get to see a lot more series. So that one could very well end up at the $1 level there. BTG says, why is it that whenever there's suspicious play, everyone suspects the chickens? I have spare characters, so goose, 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 pomp, pomp. I like that. Okay. Oh, Chrome's got a link where I can hear 4Kid Sanjay. We'll play at least Sanji. Why do I keep saying Sanjay? Sanji here. I'll listen to at least a little bit of it. You know how right now with YouTube, I got to be careful of anything at all that I do. Come on, Sanji, speak.
Luffy, why did you just stand there?
No, I can't.
Zoro's was awful.
Oh, finish him off.
Okay, hold on, I gotta find Sanji's.
Duh. Okay,
That's where he said duh. I just don't want to put too much on the stream because this was going live to the channel. So I'm just looking for where Sanji speaks.
Feel free to jump in anytime, Luffy.
Really nice save, Sanji.
Feel free to jump in anytime,
Sure
Luffy.
did pick one fool of a captain to join forces with, Zolo.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that might make my head explode. If I had to watch that, I might have an aneurysm. That's fucking terrible. That's awful. Oh, chickens and rabbits are evil, Lude says. That's horrible. Oh my God. And Luffy's voice I'd heard before is just oh man. When the fuck did Stallone start dubbing anime mod says, yeah. a dumbed down Stallone, and that's saying something. Oh, that's awful. More like a brain damage Rocky. Exactly, Gigamac. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's even worse than Stallone's normal voice. That's terrible. Who the hell thought that was a good idea? Well, it's 4Kids. When did they have a good idea? This content has been claimed by Curtis Candy. Yeah. That asshole. I wouldn't put anything past him, BTG. Igor says Curtis should check out a video called The World of Hentai, where the guy explains why hentai is better than porn. You can watch on YouTube since there's no adult scenes. It's hilarious, too. That sounds like something actually up my aisle. Ooh, up my aisle. Oh, my. Let's see. Because in Japan, that was pronounced hard. Yeah. Whenever I watch One Piece, that's the Sanjay I hear, Chrome says, even in sub. Also, Southern Robin, Gods will never leave me. Yeah, that, Chrome, I don't think, especially now, after, being such a huge fan of the series like I am, I don't think I could do that. That was awful. You guys are right, Sanji's voice, and that's just ridiculous. I mean, Luffy's is terrible, but I knew that already. Zoro's was, oh, jeez. Igor, how to fuck your crush? Me. Hey, girl, can you spell me? Girl, sure, M-E. See? Me. You forgot the D. Girl, there's no D in me. Me, not yet. They call him Zolo instead of Zoro because of the copyright? Because of copyright scares? Really? Oh, that's just awful. Again, it's just... And for me, anyway, and again, it might, in fairness, it might be because I'm already watching the sub, so I know the original content. But for me, it would take something that has become probably my favorite thing I've watched ever and turn it into something unwatchable. I mean, that's a hell of a turn. It's one thing to take the edge off something or say, gee, I wouldn't have enjoyed that as much. I don't think I would watch it. I think I would have lost, I'm sure I would just lose interest in it and not bother. Gimster, Another good messed up series to watch is called Higurashi. Wow, I haven't heard that name in a while. That came up actually, Gimster, back in the reaction video streams. That used to get talked about a lot, but we haven't talked about that one in a long time. Completely effed up starting and time twisting storyline filled with blood, guts, and gore. That's what it's just. As soon as I read that Higurashi, I remember that it used to get talked about quite a bit, but not as much recently. Yeah, blood, guts, and gore. Psst, I'm on board. 4Kids had a few good ideas, Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh themes. Oh, really? They had good Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh themes? See, that I didn't know. And I wouldn't even put that past them that they might be able to come up with, a quality theme song, but it gets to a point where there are so many things that if they felt they had to censor them that heavily, they shouldn't even bother with taking on the series then. Okay, you say my name like this. Oh, Kai Murayuri. The CH is a K sound. I'll never remember that. I'm going to try, but I'll never remember that. Kai Murayuri. Although that makes sense. Chimera, yeah. Chimera Yuri. And that I could... Let's see if I can actually remember it. Because Chimera, I've heard that pronounced as Chimera and Chimera. So that would be Chimera Yuri. I'm saying like I'm going to remember. We'll see. The Pokemon opening in the West is their work. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that about the openings. But like I say, it doesn't surprise me that they might be able to come up with a quality theme song or something. It's just the horrible edits, censorships, and now after hearing that, some of the just horrifically bad voicing. Igor says, Curtis, let me switch to talk briefly into wrestling. Sure. Did you see WWE's newest title last night on Raw? No, actually, I went to sleep right before they debuted it, apparently. It looks like a Walmart department toy belt. 24/7 championship. I haven't seen it yet, Igor. I got to go look it up because my, I still have all my old wrestling buddies on my social media accounts and everything, and they were all losing their minds over how shit it was. Everybody was talking about how garbage the belt looked, how ridiculous the concept was. It's too bad. Recently, I don't watch as often as I used to, but it seems like the WWE is taking a little bit of a turn back towards the type of content we all want from the WWE, not inhibiting things so much. So that's a good element. It's a bad element if you got a blue light special looking belt for a title that may not even draw that much interest anyway. It'll be interesting to see how that 24/7 thing plays out. I mean, they had it before. Well, they had the hardcore title was defended 24/7. Could be taken 24/7. Dashbro says, Kuro of the Usopp arc reminds me a lot of Kabuto. That Kabuto-ish attitude is all over the place. It is. For me, obviously, not necessarily chronologically as anime was produced, but for me, Kabuto was the original of the smarmy, obnoxious types. And man, and I will say that too. In the sub, it wasn't nearly as bad as in the dub. Although, in hindsight, I even have to admit, he was a villainous character. And for me, that smug, obnoxious voice and way of delivering lines is a lot of what helped to make me hate him. So I guess it wasn't really a bad thing. I mean, by the time the series was over, and we saw after he got out of the Itsunami, am I remembering the name right? When he got out of his perpetual loop and everything, and his character changed somewhat, he had fallen off my list of most hated. By the time Naruto was open, my most hated character was that whiny little pussy bitch Black Zetsu. What a coward, garbage thing he was. Oh, wrestling's not fake. Stop it, BTG. Stop. That hurt my feeling. Let's see. Igor says, Curtis, here's an image of the Puke's title. Okay, hold on. Let me look at that real quick. Oh, excuse me, guys. I got to close my nose. Oh, you got it right here. That's stupid. Excuse me. What a... You're right. That's the best description of it. It looks like something you'd buy off the bargain rack at Walmart. Who thought that was a good design? That's terrible. That's awful design. Holy shit. Check Igor's link, any of you guys, if you want to see that new belt WWE came out with. Hey, Data. Hey, Curtis, have you heard of Cas Vandepol's Ultimate Avatar Recap? No. I wouldn't be surprised if someone's mentioned already. No, I haven't heard of that. Just wondering if you would watch after you finish the series. Might be able to do that. I don't see why not. It's just one of those things. The only thing I have to be careful with, Data, now, with having a strike on the channel, is to do a reaction video to anything that contains anime content. I got to really tread lightly, because the perfect example is the Abridged series. I even had an episode, a reaction video I did of Igotas, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, get copyright struck. Only me. I don't know what it is about me. I mean, I got it overturned, obviously, but when I already have one, I have to be really careful about what I put up on the channel. So I'm hoping that I'm still in the fight with YouTube, going back and forth. I'm hoping to get this one overturned or taken away. I doubt it, but I'm hoping to. But once I'm past that strike, then I would be more able to watch something like that. At least watch it as a reaction video. Unless you mean just watch it for my own. That I can do, obviously. Gimster says, among the most hated characters you ever knew is responsible for the song entitled Ninja Info Cards. That we haven't listened to that in ages. My Ninja Info Cards. That was some... it's funny, Gimster, when you bring up things like that too. It really flashes me back to some fun times. We did have not only watching Naruto together, but we had some really fun times just in the chat and everything, talking about Naruto and watching Ninja Info Cards over and over and over. And the mods, that's something that always stand out to me. I was so amazed that our mods were able to keep me away from any spoilers. Because for those of you who weren't here, it was just daily. Every day because people are apparently douchebags with nothing else to do, people would come in and try and spoil Naruto for me, and never got to me. The only minor spoilers I had were early on, and they were from Google on my own. Never got a spoiler through the chat at all. It says something you can still remember all that after all this time. You are 100% correct, Chrome. That's one of the ways, though, I know how, and I mean this sincerely, how intrinsically important that all of you guys are to me, and Spazboy's comedy is to me, and the Goosh is to me, because my memory function, and you guys who are with me in the stream see that all the time, my memory function for things related to all of us is way, way, way better than it is for anything else in general. Which just means, for whatever reason, what little bit of memory ability I have left, my mind is prioritizing the things that happen here above pretty much everything else. BTG says, listen up, wrestling is as fake as Australia and your background, because we all know this is a green screen behind me, and we all know it's like we needed the flat earthers to know that Australia was just fake. We all knew that. Igor said something and I lost it. There it is. WWE is so bad nowadays. Triple H is also frustrated with Vince's back and forth decisions. I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised. Curtis, you should check out AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view this Saturday. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind watching another pro. Oh, no, I won't be able to this Saturday. I got a wedding. Not a big wedding person, but yeah, my niece is getting married, so I'll be gone Saturday. I'm coming back late Saturday night, but it'll probably would be too late to see it. Gimster says, you're a weeb when you start having anime flashbacks starring your own memories. Yeah, pretty much. That's well put. And true. Kind of scary. Das wrote, Curtis to Brax, you're going to have a future on YouTube and a lot of money. Brax to Curtis, no, I'm going to college. Curtis chokes Brax, why you little? Well, Brax has talked in the past about, putting up his own channel and everything. And if he wants to, obviously I would support him and let you guys know that he did it. But I've told him all along, it's everything I do for YouTube and the Goosh, I've never even considered them as work because I have too much fun doing it. But it's a lot of hours. And so I told him, don't start a channel until you're willing to devote those hours, because it's not fair to the people who follow your channel, who want to see your videos and stuff like that. You have to make that commitment to say, I'm going to be there to read comments, to answer concerns. I'm going to make videos on a regular schedule so people can come to expect certain things from the channel and not be disappointed. And to his credit, he's like, yeah, especially going to college, he'll tell you, he can't devote that kind of time to it. I'm hoping at some point he decides to open his own, though. If I ever open another channel, which I have no plans on doing, it would probably be because of the Disney stuff. And now my grandkids, my kids, we have friends, my wife, are all big Disney pin collectors. Disney pins are a whole thing. If I had ever opened another channel, it would probably be Disney pins, just because it's a fun thing to collect. And it would be fun to do, because you open these packs and you try and complete sets and everything. It's just a fun hobby, and so much of my family is so wrapped up into it. That would probably be what I would open. AEW stands for All Elite Wrestling. Oh, that was the one. Okay, I knew Cody Rhodes had founded a Fed. I didn't know it was that one. And the Young Bucks. They have a goddamn billionaire backing them up. Tony Khan. They've made a TV deal with TNT. Oh, that's cool. I'd like to see it do well. I didn't recognize the name, but I knew Cody Rhodes was on the ground floor of a Fed. Chrome says 4 kids somehow got their hands on damn near every big name, One Piece, Pokemon, even Dragon Ball for broadcasting rights, and making Blue Popo. Oh, that's right, I forgot about Blue Popo. Sanji's voice actor now works in a bar. He quit voice acting. Really? After that, good call. That's all I can say. You made a good call. Jeez. It's the hardest part about it being a pedophile fitting in. I've heard that one before, Milog. So Curtis Chrome says, has Spaz Kid had a chance to work on any proper game projects yet in college? Like team projects and such, or is he just learning code? Yeah, just the first year just learning code, basically. They haven't actually... I think it's this year they'll start with more actual game creation, but yeah, so far just learning code. BTG says, want to talk spoilers? Vader is Dutch for father. I didn't know that. That's kind of neat, actually. Wait, Vader... Why is that a spoiler? Vader is somebody's father? No, I didn't know that, though. That's kind of cool. According to some sources, Igor says Stephanie McMahon acknowledged AEW in a backstage meeting, and they never did that during the Monday Night Wars. Goes to show how AEW is a threat. That'll be interesting to see. Well, that's the big thing, is you gotta have the money behind you. And if they got some billionaire backing them, who knows what it could be. That would be cool. Gimster says, the messed up old geezer is collecting things he got from some creepy guy dressed up as a mouse. What does that say about him? Well, in fairness, now, don't get me wrong, I'm not denying the messed up old geezer or that I'm creepy or anything, but I don't really get into the pins. It's my family that does. That's not, my collectibles are all these guys. I like collecting the anime stuff. But Brax collects the pins. My wife collects the pins. Both my grandkids collect the pins. This friends of ours, another couple that we've been to Disney with this most recent trip a couple times, they collect the pins. And it's fun for me. It's actually fun for me watching them collect them. And ends up costing me money too, because I'm sure you guys can identify with this. I think everybody can at some level. You'd get into something like that, like Brax was collecting a Marvel set that Disney had, the Marvel characters. Well, you buy them in a package, you get 5 in a pack. Well, when you get close to completing that set, and he only needed a couple more, it becomes all encompassing. It's like, okay, I gotta buy one more pack. It's expensive. I'm gonna buy one more. We just gotta complete it. And surprisingly, the last pack, I said, okay, I'm gonna buy one more. That's it. The last pack we bought before we left, he got who he needed. He got Iron Man and oh god, who was it? Iron Man and one other character. He got him in the last pack. But it's actually a lot of fun watching them all collect it. Let's see. Hell, even Ambrose left WWE shows how bad they got. Yeah, I did see that, Cesaro. I see Ambrose up and packed up. Can't blame him. Can't blame him. I think Brax a lot of experience over the years while saying 3 words per video. Yeah, the good thing about that Das Broad is at least, I mean, jokes aside, at least he's got that experience doing this, if he wants to go into it. But like I told him, it's to do it properly, and to do it properly for the people who want to watch your videos, it's a major time commitment. They don't collect pins, they're incognito weapons. I like that, VTG. And 1010 is Toby. And 1010 is Toby. Goddamn 1010. That was the reason she got no respect. Because she was pulling some strings all along. Mape and grape, it's time to rape. Willie Place says, what? That's good. Broly married with Goku and have a kid named Garrely? Hey, Igor, spoiler, Tony Stark is Iron Man. All right, we're gonna have to pack up the stream today. Now everything's getting ruined for me. Have you noticed the Wizard of Oz layout in anime? Joel says. I've noticed scenes in anime that brought back that recollection. Yeah, I have. But I think that's true with it. You could make that case in anime with a lot of other famous setups as well, too. Today, as a matter of fact, what was I watching today? Because I mentioned it in the video that it reminded me a lot of Star Wars, and my memory is terrible. Luke Skywalker's home planet on Star Wars. God, I don't remember what I was watching, but one of the it was either yesterday or today. One of the videos I was watching, I made mention of that. So yeah, you see what you feel anyway are influences from movies and other forms of entertainment all the time. Chrome says you'll eventually make a suit out of Disney pins, creep the mouse out by walking into Disney head to toe except the face and nothing but pins. If you bleed, meh, adds to the effect. Yeah, it wouldn't be any worse, Chrome, than when we used to, in my wrestling days, you'd pour the thumbtacks out all over the ring and get backdropped on them. Same effect in the end. FC Goku's Perfect Family and Broly comes to dinner. You'll laugh your ass off. I think I saw Goku's Perfect Family. The gang here, TKD, will remember better than me. I'm pretty sure we saw that during the reaction video stream. I don't think I saw Broly Comes to Dinner, though. Yeah, I like any of that stuff. I discovered you on a night. I snuck my girlfriend over to have sex. Proud? Yes, curiosity. That's awesome. You got lucky twice that night. One of them much luckier than the other. All right, okay, guys. I'm going to have to hang it up for today. I got to go down, again, check on my mom. I've been up here for an hour and a half. Check on my mom. Got a bunch of editing to do. Got a bunch more stuff going up at the Goosh today. And I'm hoping to get some ahead because, again, I got that wedding this weekend, so I got to have a few videos ahead for Saturday. Plus, I want to get some more of my Goosher 100 vids up, especially the second half of that one I started and got called away from. This is fun. I'm so glad I've been able to start coordinating my schedule enough to be able to stream more regularly. This was a blast again today. I have so much fun doing this. It makes my whole day easier. Now going forward and doing the rest of my editing and stuff, it just, I don't know, you kind of do it with a smile now. But thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I'll talk to you as soon as I can again. And until then, pump-oo, sticky stuff for everybody. We'll bang, okay? I gotta say it. We'll bang, okay? Yeah, it even grosses me out. Flashily like Buggy. But most importantly, guys, as always, as creepy as ever, goosh. Ah!